Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. We are tying the jumbo foam daddy. Yeah, it's a foam daddy that's a little bit bigger than your standard. So let's get fired into it. So first things first, a little bit of upfront prep. You're going to need some rather big booby eyes and some foam cell sheets. And basically what you want to do to start off with is take a 7mm booby eye cylinder like this, and effectively you want to cut it in half and cut it into a shape like this. And I've put a lighter around the ends of this just to reseal it. And then you also want to take a piece of foam cell sheet like this, and you want to cut a piece that's not too dissimilar to the length of the hook and a couple of mil thick. Drop a comment if you want me to do a little video on exactly how I've done this, but yeah, that's the sort of starting point. Colour wise for this fly, you can do just about anything. I've tried just about anything, and the fish will come up and take it on a nice breezy day. There's a nice chop across the water. But yeah, let's get stuck into it. So, hook and device for Rio size 10 standard barbless, and we've got some Uni 6.0 in black. So I'm just going to start in behind the eye, run this down. Okay, good stuff, quite happy with that. Grab your shaped booby eye, and you probably want, I'm going to say a good 3/4 of this over the back. So then you just want to come up with a turn and just start to catch this in. A couple of turns up and round, really just locking this in at this point. And then what you can do, and don't use your favourite scissors, is come in and chop some of this excess down. Get a little touch of the old super glue, put it on this section, and then you're gonna come forward and just lock this down. Okay, cool. So next we're going to grab some pre-knotted pheasant tail legs. You're going to want these quite long, and you want 3 each side. So for length I would probably be looking at 2 times the length of the hook. Out over the back. Just come in and catch those with a couple of turns just now. And then similarly on the other side. Then when you're happy with those, you can start to lock them in. Chop away your tag ends. And run this back down. Don't worry if they start to splay out. Ideally what you want them to do is to splay out. Can be a little bit fiddly, as you can see, but really what you want to start doing is coming through, maybe taking one or two individually and just separate them out a little bit. Okay, I'm relatively happy with that. Once you're happy with what you've got, it's all good. Again, the upside is when you cast this out and it hits the water, those legs are going to come up and effectively parachute the fly that little bit more and give you that sort of space and volume. Alright, so up next we're going to come in with, now these are 2 feathers from the jungle cock cape, but you can use other feathers if you want. These are just nicely marked feathers that I like to use for this. And really what I'm coming in to do is probably looking at just shy of the body length over the back. Just sit them on top at this point. And come round with a turn. They might rotate slightly and that's fine. Then come in with another turn. And then spread them out. That's the important bit here. Spread these out a little bit. What you're also going to find is you're going to have some extra fibre here that's going to sit and splayed. Don't cut that off. I would leave that. It adds to the feature of the fly, and it certainly, yeah, just keep it there. It looks good. Then when you're happy, you can come in and chop this away. Going to put a little bit of wax on the thread at this point and then just tidy up. So hopefully you can see what we're building up here. It's a nice, well profiled Big Daddy piece. So I'm going to come forward at this stage and we'll go back to our little orange piece. As I said, colours you can do all sorts. I'm going to thin down this front piece slightly to create a little bit more of a taper. So you've got something that's a little bit more like this. So you want to put this on top, thicken towards the back and catch in this thinner end that you've created and run it up to where it meets the start of the feathers that you've just tied in as wings. And just sit that there. That's quite fine there, quite happy there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a relatively big cock hackle. Black would be recommended at this point, but again it'll work with all sorts. Brown's good. You could push the boat out and go with orange and things like that as well. Keep the stem quite long at this point and just catch this on the side. And run it all the way down. Keep your thread at the front and then you're going to come up and you're going to start to build this up. And again, this will look big, and again that is deliberate. And just wind this forward and keep coming. Leave yourself a little bit of space at the front and then catch this with your thread. Put a couple of turns in with the thread, then cut your waist end away. For extra security, bring your thread up and through this hackle and then back down. So that won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, next thing to do is try to spread this a little bit. It won't sit exactly, it never does. But if you can start to maybe encourage this to sit out a little bit, it does help. And then when you're ready, bring this bit of foam forward and catch it on the top. Couple of turns, nice and light to start with. Put a thumb on top of it if you need to, just to pin it in place. Then you can come round with some more wraps. So you don't need to whip finish in front of the fly with this, which is good. What you can do is just put some super glue on the thread, try and stroke back the hackle and avoid getting too many fibres caught up in what you're doing. There's one or two there, but nothing we can't live without. And then come up and whip finish over the top of the foam. Come in and cut away your thread. And then just this bit of foam at the front, just tidy it up and cut it to a length that you're happy with. Wouldn't take it right the way in, because you want to still have that little bit of something on the front that will give a bit of buffer if you pull this across the water. There you have it, folks. A couple of fibres in the front I don't like, but get rid of them. But yeah, the jumbo foam daddy. Give it a go. This thing definitely gets fish. It's and it's great fun. Give this a pull across a ripple and the fish will come up and hammer this off the top. As always, hope you found that useful. Drop a like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Give it a go. Until next time, cheers.